Hi, I'm Tom Perlite, and Thomas and I are here at my nursery in San Francisco, and we want to show you the different types of greenhouses, going from old greenhouses built in the 1920s and 30s on to present-day greenhouses.
My name's Thomas Wang. I'm here with Tom. This is Tom, and here's Jake. We're going to take a look at these greenhouses, have Tom show us some structures. In this particular scenario, he's the master, I'm the apprentice, and Jake, well, he's just here for emotional support.
Okay. The greenhouses we're looking at today were built in the 1930s, as far as I can tell, and they're of wood construction, all first cut redwood, so the wood is extremely hard and in good condition. These greenhouses have been here going on 80 or 90 years. Originally, they were wood with glass roofs, and when we moved in the 1980s, we removed all of the glass, reconfigured the structure itself, and put fiberglass initially, and then later polycarbonate plastic structure for the greenhouse covering. You'll also notice that on the inside of the greenhouse there's a layer of polyfilm, which just provides insulation to keep the heating costs down. These greenhouses were built for the flowering and tropical plant production. They were used for azaleas before I took over, and we've used them primarily for orchids for many years. The dimensions, they're 30 feet wide by 100 feet long, which is sort of a standard size here in California. The height of the greenhouse is 12 feet to the peak and 6 feet to the gutters. The gutters are 6 feet tall, so they are relatively short in stature. And this is beneficial to us from a heating standpoint. You have less area to heat, and so the heating costs are somewhat reduced. It does make things a little more difficult removing heat during the day. They tend to heat up during the day, but at night it's beneficial. The supports in the greenhouse, you have redwood supports for the center peak, and then midway down the roof we have steel supports, which at the time supported the heavy weight of the glass. Polycarbonate is much lighter, and it's not as crucial at this point for those, but this is the structure that we came with, and so that's what we're dealing with at this point. The span from the peak to the gutter is 16 feet. So that's 16 feet on each side, a 30-foot wide greenhouse. Okay. When these greenhouses were first built, it was wood and glass construction, and these are the structural bars that supported the glass. And every 16 inches there was a bar. So we removed the bar that was here, it ran vertically to the peak. We took them out for the polycarbonate roof when we changed it. We could have left it in, but each piece of wood, each bar, creates a shadow in the greenhouse. So by removing every other one, we're allowing more light into the greenhouse for the plants. And then we repurposed the bars, ran them horizontally, and attached the polycarbonate to those. So it's in modern day greenhouses, light is, in any greenhouse, light is the most important thing. So by removing these, we're allowing more light for the plants to grow faster. Okay, here we are up on the roof, and just to give you a perspective of the polycarbonate covering and the gutter system on this particular greenhouse, you could see the clean polycarbonate here that's been power washed, and the area that just from the day-to-day dirt and dust, and this time of year we've got a lot of ash in the air, how dirty a roof can get, and that in turn affects the amount of light. Our gutter system here, when it rains, it comes down into the gutter, and then there's a slight grade. It ends at the back of the greenhouse. When I first moved here, there were no homes, so the water ran off and just went into the ground. Once the houses were built, we had to redirect the water coming off the greenhouse roof into the greenhouse, because if you can imagine the volume of water that is collected when it rains, you have hundreds of gallons of water, and my neighbors wouldn't be too happy to have those in their backyard. So we've had to make some adjustments over time as the area has become houses as opposed to nurseries, and so that's what we've done. But, good. Well, that wraps it up for our greenhouses here in Visitation Valley. We're going to head over to City College greenhouses and give you a little perspective on those. Sound okay with you, Jake? Alrighty then. Here we are at the City College greenhouses, and these I believe were built maybe in the 70s, so they're probably close to 50 years old, and they're a more modern construction with aluminum on the roof supporting the glass, and then steel pipe supports on the gutters. And if you look through, there are no vertical supports either midway up the roof or down the center, like in the old wood greenhouses. So you have a clear run in the greenhouse without any obstructions for supports, and that allows more bench space in the greenhouse and more growing area in turn. You can see the bars supporting the glass are aluminum construction, and each pane of glass appears to be about 20 inches wide and probably 24 inches long. Compared to current day Dutch greenhouses, their panes of glass are 3 feet wide and 4 or 5 feet long. So they use much larger pieces of glass, again, to provide much more light coming into the greenhouse. One of the main problems with glass is breakage. And if here at the City College greenhouse, we had a problem with the ridge vent, and quite a few of the panes of glass shattered and broke and slipped. And the replacement cost for these panes of glass is going to be in the hundreds and possibly $1,000 or $2,000. Just to replace a few panes of glass because of the hazards of getting up on the roof and replacing it. The modern day Dutch greenhouses that we'll look at later all use triple strength tempered glass. So breakage, this is not tempered glass at all, and breakage is not as much of an issue. And when it is, they have machinery that makes replacing broken glass much more easy. So it's you don't see glass quite as often in the United States for that reason, and when you do, they're modern greenhouses of Dutch construction and heavy-duty tempered glass to avoid the danger aspect within the greenhouse and the cost of replacement.
Hey Tom, what's that noise that's all? What's that thing going on?
Those are the vents opening and closing. In this greenhouse, the vents are motorized, If you look up on top, you can see the motor that will open and close the vents. As the temperature rises in the greenhouse, the vents will open, releasing the hot air, and as the temperature cools, the vents close to keep the temperature relatively stable. So it's we need a little oil here. I think keep it a little quieter. But the greenhouse, we'll go into the components of heating, cooling, temperature control in another class. But that's what the noise is, Thomas.
Thank you.
Okay, here we have a view of the roofs of the greenhouses at City College, and as you can see, they're glass roofs. They again are 100 feet long, so to the end is 100 feet. They are 30 feet wide, so they're the same dimensions as the greenhouses in Visitation Valley. These are taller. The gutters are 8 feet tall, and the peaks are probably close to 18 or 20 feet. So it's a taller greenhouse all around, but the same width. And you have an aluminum gutter here, which is in desperate need of cleaning. Over time, the whitewash will come off the glass and accumulate in the gutter, and that's the debris that you see there. And the water will go down the length of the greenhouse and directly into the sewer. These are the aluminum caps or glazing that hold the glass in place. So when it's time to replace the glass, these screws come out, and then the glass is placed on the aluminum bars, and then the cap is placed back on. So there's no, in my greenhouses in Visitation Valley, we had glass with nails and putty for glazing. This is a more modern glazing system where you have aluminum caps that hold the glass in place much more securely, and again prevents breakage. The ridge vents run the length of the greenhouse, so you have motorized ridge vents that will open and close as the temperature increases, and that provides good air exchange and cooling of the greenhouse.
Thank you, Tom.
Okay.
Well, now we got to get down these ladders, huh? Ay, ay, ay.
Yeah, and dealing with glass, safety is crucial.
Well, thank you for sharing all your knowledge with us today, Tom. I learned a ton of stuff today.
My pleasure, Thomas. And we'll until next time, we'll be back. But we're here in the orchid section of the greenhouse, and we'll see you next time. Thanks. I'm Tom. This is Tom, and where'd Jake go?
There he is.
And there's Jake.
Until next time.